Nah, being locked in, not knowing who his opponent is going to be is always a risk. Champions like Aurelia just exist on Summoner's Rift. The question is, it can't be a Scuttle. Where on earth is he going?
Is he just going to do the cheese gank level 2
He's a
top?
Sejuani that is about to level 2 cheese gank top lane. Impact level 1. This is working.
All right, here we go. Impact doesn't have his jump away, remember. Impact flash into the hook shot. They may just be able to find this kill. Adi with the flash. Impact goes down. First blood for LYN.
They had the confidence to make a play like that in a best-of-5 elimination round to knock yourself out of Worlds. The ward has spotted them, but Smoothie may still get Genthix here.
Here we go. Genthix going to be the one who's initially targeted on this one. More CC coming out as the damage also follows up, and now Sneaky going to be jumped on by Adi, who shows up for the 3v3. Contract still staying on the front line. Smoothie going to be looking for more now as well. Ignite down onto Genthix. There comes your body slam. Tying the game up 1-1.
And suddenly the Rift Herald spawns in the middle lane, and that's just going to be an outer turret secured.
Dural and Impact getting into that 1v1. Impact jumping forward almost onto the Mega Gnar. Lands another boomerang, continuing to apply the slows, but Adi is here, and now Impact may have found himself in not an ideal situation. Going to be stunned up underneath the turret and outplayed. Impact goes down.
Oh, but here comes the reinforcements.
Contract comes in, makes sure he cleans up the kill that Impact started, and now they are going to take Adi out as well. 2 for 1.
Threatening them, pushing them away, beating them around the rift as Dural wants to fight.
Dural saying, all right, we're just going to stand here and man fight this little Yordle, trying to take him down if he can, but Impact is quickly going to be going into Mega Gnar form, stunner to stun. Not that fun unless you're the Impact, in which case it is fantastic. Finds himself a solo kill.
These game changers need to actually start changing the game. It looks like they're about to.
That's one way to put it. Smoothie able to find the hook onto Seiya, but now he's found himself in the middle of multiple members as now the counterattack from Cloud9 is live. The cap going to 5. Sneaky grabbing the kill onto Adi, manages to save Smoothie as well. Genthix now going to be the target as Impact finds his way onto Dural yet again. Jensen grabbing the kill on that one, and it's 3 for 0, Cloud9.
And not the impact they needed. In fact, both of them stay at 3-0s on the score, but Cloud9 win the team fight. Impact the rest of them straight over to the Baron pits. We have Vision, we have Baron, like we're so set up. This is the 3rd red in a row. Not even talking about blue buffs anymore.
All right, he does find himself jumped on by the Sejuani now, but that's a very aggressive jump out by White Lotus. Impact going to be flashing himself away, and here they go, trying to find the pick onto the Cloud9 top laner. The Lantern is down, will pull him to safety, and just barely keep him alive.
He's going to survive. Unfortunately for Cloud9, he is the lack of teleport top laner at the moment. But they're still going to push in. He's close to Mega. I guess they've got a lot of trust in the shields that can keep him up. But they've also got the inside track. They thought that LYN were going to come and react, and they didn't.
They just barrel down the bottom lane. They find the tier 3 turret, but now the fight's going to be breaking out. Impact with the stun down onto Genthix, jumps in, slam into the wall onto White Lotus. The Hextech ultimatum is issued, but immediately canceled as Sneaky finds the rampage and the double kill. Adi sidesteps his way away from the death sentence, but Cloud9 has issued a similar sentence onto this game. LYN on their back foot, taking their final breaths. Cloud9 approaching the next.
They're going towards the end, it looks like.
Turret number 1 nearly deleted, and it is out of there. Only 1 turret left standing to protect the LYN Gaming Nexus, and they've only got 3 members to defend it. A nice shockwave coming out from Jensen to allow Sneaky to dominate 6-0-2 on this Ballista. Adi and White Lotus remain, but that is it, and Cloud9 in quick fashion find their victory in game 1.
I think the Lulu's a denial from Sneaky and Smoothie, trying to prevent the strongest, lane dominant and lane pressure based 2v2.
River Brush. Now Contract makes his way onto Dural, seeing if they're able to find the burst here. The stun, where's the feast? Dural wanting to get himself away, pops off the Nature's Grasp. The Sejuani ulti comes through. Impact wants to get a big old bite out of him, but can't quite do it. First blood goes to Dural. Cloud9 with the mistake. We do see the rotations coming bot side. LYN Gaming bringing both
Teleport
jungler
in as well,
and mid laner, as well as the top laner now with the TP. Sneaky's in some trouble, likely going to be dropping here. No way to escape the 1 versus 5. Seiya grabs the kill, and LYN Gaming is off to the races.
Just to continue to push, just to continue to pressure. So ultimately, that is a trade, but it opens the map up so much more.
Seiya taking a lot of damage here from Jensen. Barely walks away from the ult.
Just another day in the mid lane offense, except for this.
Oh, Jensen now going to be dumped. The power of the jungle coming in once again for LYN Gaming.
That's definitely the case, of course, while stretching your own lead at the same time as they're going on Jensen.
Jensen again going to be found out. White Lotus cashing in for the 2nd time onto the Cloud9 mid laner.
Summoner spells are all up and available, and so very difficult to make the place unless Contracts just walks in.
Contracts with some interesting jungle pathing there. Not able to charge himself over the wall. Good body block by Adi. Tries to flash, but Giral is right there with the Nature's Grasp to make sure they find the kill. Adi just says the hell with it and jumps back over the wall with the flash, and Lion goes towards the Cloud Drake.
And now they hang around. I don't know if they can make this play, but it feels like they really want it.
All right, they're going to start things off. Sejuani ulti down onto Adi, and Jensen finds himself the kill. Cloud9 finally on the board, and they take the tier 1 turret down along with it.
We have seen some Cho'Gaths go towards adaptive helms, maybe 3rd or 4th item. We've seen some not go Gargoyle Stoneplate at all, but he wants to kill those carries. He wants to get in. And here we go.
Here we go. Fight going to be breaking out. Onto the front line goes Contracts, throws down the ulti, not finding anybody with the stun. Immediately Smoothie getting himself rooted up by the ulti from the Varus, as now Giral makes his way into the thick of things. Going to be Wild Growth, but immediately flashes his way out of it. Sneaky now finding the opportunity to fire onto some isolated targets. Shockwave not going to be coming up big this time. Sneaky grabbing the kill onto Giral as Smoothie looks to refresh the fight with the Janna ultimate. Lion trying to get themselves out of this one. They've lost the fight for now. We mentioned Cloud9's team fighting, and it shows up here. And I want to point out the gold lead has shifted ever so slightly. It's the smallest of leads, but it is in the favor of Cloud9 now, even though they're down in turrets and kills. Now they're looking to start things off here onto Adi, who's going to be saved by the Wild Growth for now. Shockwave finding its way onto Contracts, who's the first casualty of this fight. Impact going to be forced to flash out now as well. It's Cloud9 who commits the sins that Lion committed last time, and they go too deep. You talked about Baron, how that's always going to be a factor, and
this
right now...
This bush is literally where the game's being decided, it feels like.
Impact going to be the target here by Lion. Contracts throwing out the ulti onto White Lotus, trying to disengage things here. Nature's Grasp fired off, finds its way only onto Contracts. Impact is isolated by himself. Impact trying to get himself away from this one. Adi now going to be feasted upon. Impact, though, taken low and taken down. White Lotus grabbing himself the killing spree, as now Sneaky has to disengage. Giral so tanky with his own Gargoyle Stoneplate. That's another 1 for 0 for Lion.
So many things were used in this fight except for the Shockwave from Sayer. It is up, it is available.
Oh, they're going right back into it. Jensen forced to flash out. Sneaky looking for the auto attack damage. Giral on the front line looking to isolate Contracts, pulling him back in. Shockwave going to drag him further back into the clutches of White Lotus. Contracts walks away. For now, Sneaky still very healthy. White Lotus still full HP. So much on these AD carries. 3-0 and 3 on the Varus, 1-1 and 0 on the Xayah. 3 items completed on both.
Very tense fighting coming out of both of these teams. Sneaky is doing so much work. They caught Jensen out of position, it looked like, but his stun on the back end of that was incredible. Cloud9, they are teleporting in for this. Lion are going to match it.
What a Baron call by Cloud9. This is the kind of really, really interesting play that can make or break the game. Now Baron's going to be below half HP. Giral in the front line. Contract's going to be tanking. Jensen needs to back away. Contracts needs to back away. He cannot get out in time.
They're going to go back to the
Lion
Baron.
has found the Baron leashed for them by their opponents. Cloud9, now they're the ones who have to stop this. Varus ulti misses. Chains of Corruption not finding the mark means a lot of CC not available on the side of Lion.
Giral's still doing the Baron buff as well. This is just the biggest bait of all time. They have to back away. Nobody has anything up and available.
This rush means that we're gonna have a fight. We'll just have to see who ends up going in first. Contracts takes some poke there, and now it's Giral who gets caught out. Nature's Grasp comes flying through, finds its way onto a couple of different targets. Jensen with no flash, remember, he used it in the last fight. Giral gonna be the first one down. Shockwave onto Jensen. If they can take him down, that is gonna be huge, but White Lotus now gonna be silenced, knocked up into the air, the damage coming through. The stun lands, but Adi is running interference. Saya grabbing the kill onto Impact. It's a double kill for Contract.
The knowledge game lies with Lion.
Cloud9 getting those side lanes pushed out now. Impact to the bottom lane is now Smoothie going to be jumped on. Adi looking to start this fight up. They know Cloud9 is only 3 strong, and they're able to find the kill onto 1. Now can they make it 2? Contract's forced to flash over the wall, keeping himself alive, but it's still a 1 for 0 fight going the way of Lion. Good trigger pull there, recognizing the fact that they had a huge numbers advantage.
5 ultimates used, however, for just the 1 kill onto Smoothie means that as they push in, as they look towards controlling Summoner's Rift for the Baron specifically, I feel like C9 can still walk in. I feel like they can still fight for this, but they've committed. They're doing it.
Baron is at half HP, Rusty. Here we go. Cloud9's got to make their move, but it's already done. Lions have got the objective. Now they might be able to find the attack here onto the rest of Cloud9, grabbing onto Impact. He pops the stone plate, has to try to get himself away, pops the feast before he dies, should drop. And Adi puts the flag on the corpse and walks away.
And now we find ourselves in this position where C9 actually a bit on the back foot, but they're not. They're just going to push in, apparently.
Flexing their muscles in the enemy jungle, trying to get something out of this, but they may just end up losing their own jungler. Contract's trying to run away, but the Nature's Grasp locks him down and takes him out. Sneaky, not quite having enough damage to return the favor as Cloud9 loses yet another nothing. But it is something that they can use to leverage this advantage along with this huge minion wave. Jural and Seiya not stopping. White Lotus and Genthix now brought in as well. Tier 3 demolished.
They've got this. Jensen's not even rotating. He has no mana. He's just going to recall. Free inhibitor for LYN. LYN, they're not going straight towards the Elder Dragon just yet. They're setting up the vision, but most importantly, they're pushing bottom lane.
They're just going straight for this tier 3. White Lotus only needs one more auto attack. Already found it. Taking this one down now so they can fight on the inhibitor if they want to. Nothing really there to protect Cloud9, where super minions are
already looking
the top
at it.
part of the base. Seiya the target of Contracts. Ulti not really finding a lot there right now. Contracts the one who's taking a lot of damage. Ulti also coming out from
It's
Jural.
all zoning. They want to get the Elder.
They're still trying to get it. Redemption comes down. Cloud9 still maybe looking to take the fight, but it's Adi who's able to lock 3 into the pit as now he's soaking the damage. Impact here on the front line, taking a big bite out of the Jarvan. Finds the kill now as White Lotus gets himself stunned up. More damage coming through. Jensen not quite able to find the kill on that one as Contracts goes for Seiya. Not quite able to do it. The heal from the Janna will not be there. White Lotus still trying to take that Elder Drake as Jiral's going to be taken down closely next. Nearly falls.
He's
trying
alive.
to find his way with the twisted advance as Sneaky gets the Elder. Genthix looking to take the Blast Cone to get himself away to safety. Cloud9's base is just being absolutely bonked this whole time. They've got to go back and assist. I'm seriously impressed with LYN's ability to do this. There's a lot of times, even in some of the larger regions, where you see teams not be able to lead their opponents around from a macro perspective that
And
way.
they're back to the Baron buff. It looks like LYN still want to go for this.
Cloud9 trying to go for Adi here, forces him to flash away. Baron still at 1/3 HP.
If they
C9
can't
now
do it,
disengaging from it.
LYN still win the map. Look at top, look at bottom on the mini-map. The minions that are pushing in. LYN just want to not fight and control the mid lane. C9 have to.
Contracts tries to go for the ulti instead, finds it between the goalposts of Seiya and White Lotus. Not what they wanted to see on that with a shockwave coming down onto the Cho'Gath. Impact flashing away. Stun out onto Jural by
They got Jensen.
Adi goes in, catches him out. Jensen forced to flash. Big summoner spell cooldown.
And Cloud9 have to go defend their base. They have no choice. LYN should get a free Baron for this. You're looking at Contracts perhaps for the steal. If all of Cloud9 hang around, then they run the risk of losing inhibitors. They're all here except for Impact. He has the teleport.
Oh, this fight's gonna turn real sketchy real quick. Baron down to
doing
one
it.
corner. Cloud9 now finding themselves here in the pit. Impact and Contracts both hanging around. Jensen over the wall as well. Impact under the secure onto the Baron with the Cho'Gath Feast. But now where does the fight go from here? Sneaky's got to be careful. He can't afford to walk into a shockwave. Contracts on the front line. Gargoyle Stone Plate to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Jensen down below half HP. Impact is still stuck in the pit. He secured the Baron for his team, but he's going to be the sacrificial lamb as the minions pour into the Cloud9 base. They take down the bottom lane inhibitor. The teleport into the top lane. It's 2 inhibs down for Cloud9.
And a big flank from Jural.
Jural shows up. He's got very little mana here on the front line. He might be able to lock down Sneaky the shockwave. Not going to be finding anyone just yet. Sneaky's going to have to find an immaculate amount of damage in this fight. LYN looking to push up into the Cloud9 base. Genthix gets himself taken out by Jensen. As Jural barely walks away, Contracts now surviving the damage from White Lotus. 1 dead on the side of LYN, but they do get the 2 inhibitors thanks to the minions.
Top wave is pushed in. They saw Jensen deal with the minions. They start to, oh, that was a lot.
Big root onto White Lotus. Contracts ulti just barely going to be missing out on that one. Jural trying to get himself away. Fires off the Nature's Grasp. Wants to use it as a disengage mechanism, but now LYN might see their opportunity to put the last couple of hits in onto the mid lane inhib, but they're not quite able to find it. Cloud9 may want to defend this, but they've got to be careful about the fact that Contracts is hurt going into it.
That's one
no
auto
minions
attack.
pressuring in the base right now, and LYN gets what they came for.
Yeah, so that's all 3 inhibitors gone. However, how long it took to get that inhib means that the rest will probably spawn pretty soon. Sneaky's also rotated. Cloud9, they don't want the Elder to go.
Contracts is way too close. He's going to be singled out and bursted down before he can do much of anything. The shield going to be keeping him alive.
Still alive.
Adi now here in the pit trying to defend, be the front line of Team LYN, but Sneaky's able to find free firing time. Jural now going to be the tank. Nobody dead so far. Cloud9 still looking to make this fight happen. The route out on a draw. White Lotus
They got him.
goes down to Jensen's burst.
And Jensen comes up with a hero play. Cloud9 still with no health to their names. No Warmogs on the choker. He has teleport. He might want to recall. The waves of health inhibs are up.
Hanging around. Side lane inhibitors back up for Cloud9. Audi over the wall. May look to go in. Steal this with the blast cone. Comes over the wall.
Reset.
The Drake may reset here. It does slightly. Audi has to go back with the flag and drag. Cloud9 pulling the Drake out yet again to make sure they secure it, and they do. Baron should go down rather rapidly. LYN recognizing this, wanting to get themselves in here. Cloud9 not going to back away this time. Sneaky secures the Baron, but can Cloud9 get themselves away? Both tanks going to be locked down. Stone plates pop to try to make this exit as gracefully as possible. Audi on the front line trying to keep Impact locked down. Sneaky getting himself away along with the rest of Cloud9, and nobody drops this time.
Now the push is on. The question is, do Cloud9 react to this fight? They don't push mid lane. It looks like they want it.
There's a large minion wave bottom side for LYN as well. LYN likely recognizing this. That's why they're making this fight happen now. Jensen losing 3/4 of his HP to the combo from Seiya. However, that means the shockwave cannot be used in the upcoming fight. Positioning now, much less of a concern for Cloud9. They don't have to worry about walking into those. Audi flag and drag over the wall to keep himself safe. Cloud9, they realize there's that many minions in their bottom lane. They're pinging it right now. They're saying, look, it's time to do or die.
To deal with
we
it.
say do. Cloud9 starting up the Baron. Got it down to about half HP. Nature's Grasp comes out from the Maokai, trying to lock these guys down. Contracts coming in.
The QSS
Finds
was
the
back.
ulti, but the QSS was back up. White Lotus going to be kept alive for now. Tanks on the front line doing exactly what their namesake says. Jarrell and Audi trying to stay alive, but the first kill goes to Sneaky.
Sneaky's damage is incredible, though. It looks like Cloud9, with the reset of Smoothie's ultimate, they're not respecting the base. It is starting to die. One inhibitor's gone, but they're back on the Baron. Look at Audi.
Cloud9 trying to take this Baron. Their base is being taken apart, though. They've got to make sure they finish this off cleanly. Baron down to about 3k HP. Audi comes into the pit, but it's secured by contracts. Audi likely going to drop here as a result of jumping there into the pit. Now Sneaky on the killing spree. They're finding the kills onto Lotus and Genthix as well. It's one man versus the world. Seiya stands alone.
Still the triple kill for Sneaky. Teleport there from Impact. They are not looking at defending their base at all. They want to end this one right now. 4 people dead for a very long time. You would have to imagine the Cloud9 can do this. As long as they walk in 1 minion, Seiya's got Rogue.
Seiya knows that he cannot defend 1 versus 5. He is
got
going
so
for the outplay.
rogue.
Cloud9 has 1 minion there. Seiya trying to flash, clear these minions out of the way, but it will not be enough. 61 minutes into the game, and Cloud9 finds the win. Put this together and make it all work. It's do or die. Worlds is on the line. And we saw this last game. It was Cloud9 who actually had this done to them when Sneaky was pushing the top side and the tier 2 got attacked. Now LYN looking to turn things around down here. Contract's going to be the one who's held in place. Audi trying to make the moves happen. Let's bounce. Not going to be finding anyone. Stand United comes in. They find the taunt now on to Jarrell. Nearly taken down there by the auto attacks from Sneaky. Barely gets himself away.
And right now, with how they've been laning, the fact that we're at 15 minutes in the game and it's 3-0s, it's going pretty well.
Dear Lord, Jensen almost finding the solo kill onto Seiya, but now he's the one who's going to be caught out. Stand United onto him from Impact. Accelerated Shock Blast may come through, not finding its way onto Jensen just yet. The turnaround onto the enemy jungler. Smoothie is here as well to keep these guys safe, popping the heal, and first blood over to Cloud9's mid laner.
There's no teleport from Jarrell to keep them alive, so the kill's going to go down. Almost 2 with the blinking health bars of Seiya. Cloud9 the first to make the play. And they're not just making the play for the kill, they dove mid lane, and they're still looking. You can see Contract stalking.
Fires off the ulti, finds his way onto Genthix, who is just deleted as the rest of Cloud9 all together as one 5-man unit takes down the tier 1 turret in the mid lane, completes that outer ring.
You know, there's a static shift from a Tristana to Aiden trying to disengage that. It's the fact that they have control of the jungle, as they've got Jensen.
Seiya now going to be having this turn right around on him. Contract swooping in there with the ulti to make sure they seal the deal. White Lotus coming in, trying to find the damage onto Jensen. Manages to get it out, plays the taunt with the flash. Now looking to turn right back around with the auto attacks, but it's LYN in retreat. Smoothie and Impact here, trying to chase these guys back down. Sneaky's going to be coming in from the flank any moment. Needs to get the attack speed in there, throws out the contaminated flask. But everybody from LYN is back in time.
One play like that, and ultimately why I'm talking about that, is no, I'm not.
Uh-oh, Sneaky delivering impact right on top of Seiya to bring him down for the second time this game. No way out of that one. It just makes him clear the thing near instantly. Contract showing up mid lane. Might want to go on to White Lotus here. Nice sidestep by White Lotus yet again. Got the juke boots laced up today and disengages any further damage coming in from
But here's Sneaky with a big flank.
There you go. Ulti going to be used here soon. Silence, knock up, juggle around, slams back and forth into his own support. White Lotus taken out by Jensen, but Sneaky falls to Lotus as well. 1 for 1 so far. 80 carry's going to be traded back and forth.
Oh, Smoothie.
Away. LYN has found an advantage in this fight, but Smoothie with a nice reset on those health bars with the ulti.
Such a good reset. Cancels Jace dashing forwards. And LYN, they've got Oddie still on a flank, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to continue going.
Honestly, LYN going even in these fights, 6,000 gold down, isn't that bad of a situation, but now Geralt finding himself caught out. The damage comes through and Contract has the kill.
As they start to pressure.
Oh, speaking of excellent,
oh no,
Lulu is not about to have a very excellent time, taken down by Sneaky, Smoothie, and Contracts together. There's just too much damage. Wild Growth, not enough.
I don't think that's actually going to be stopped at all. Geralt has Flash. He has his ultimate. Zac also exists.
He's trying to go for the Flash Feast. You never know. Impact, the lone man standing there with the Baron. Tanks it up for a very, very long time. Audi comes in. They're trying to steal this one away, but they can't do it. Contracts gets the secure. They get kills soon onto both members that jumped in. LYN tries a desperation play to get themselves back into the game, but ultimately, it's just not enough.
How simple it feels like it is for C9 to just execute on these strategies. How about this one as well?
Here we go, forcing the flash and the cleanse away from Seiya. That's double summoner spells on the enemy mid laner. For only the single summoner spell of Impact, they've managed to potentially catch Geralt out. Impact always looking for those taunts, always looking for the lockdown. We're all going to lose about half his HP. Audi trying to go in. Contracts with a very nicely timed interrupt, and Contracts and Sneaky and the rest of Cloud9 have found 2. Looking for number 3. Seiya's got no way out. He's going to fall to Impact. White Lotus the next man to fall. The double kill for Sneaky, and Cloud9's looking to put this one in the books almost as fast as game number 1. The inhibitor goes down. LYN is aced. Cloud9 may have had to go through a fight in game number 2, but game 3 was just them putting the final nails in the coffin. They will find their 3-0 victory and punch their ticket to the main group event at Worlds 2017.
Ultimately, this is why you don't want to mess with Jensen in the mid lane.
Yeah, the counter pick was not working out super well. They start pressuring solo, so of course Audi comes in to try and turn this one around, but C9 is always ready to defend Jensen. He gets that Shen ult to help bring him in, and you see the entire rest of C9 is collapsing in through the bot side, so just really heads up play out on them. It did work a little bit in game 2 attacking Jensen, but that was after they built a lead elsewhere. This time around, without any real pressure going down, if you instantly try and attack Jensen, C9 is ready to respond.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job, but I feel like playing around mid is something that you have to do eventually in the game. It just happens, right? It's the central part of the map, it gets you everywhere else. So we're saying don't play around mid. You can't section off the most important part of the map and just try to get around it. It's so much harder to do. It takes more moves to get all the way around, it takes more time. So going through mid is something that I think you eventually have to do.
Yeah, as a general game plan, think of C9's mid lane as a bunker, try and flank the bunker, don't go right towards it, but eventually you do need to bust that bunker up.
And one thing I really like is that we did see bot lane suffer in the previous matchup. We did see kind of Smoothie and Sneaky start to fall behind, but this time around they clearly came much more prepared for White Lotus and Genthix and maybe gave them the necessary respect. But honestly, Jaina, a support we didn't expect to do anything. We heard the casters talking about it, actually really helping win out on that lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a lane where the Lulu counter pick usually works out pretty well. Tristana has pressure. You think this is a lane that you should just basically have shoved in 24/7, and it didn't quite work out this time around. Maybe a little less comfort on abusing someone in lane with Tristana than you're used to seeing with the Varus pick, who has a little bit more bully potential.
Yeah, I feel like Smoothie played incredibly well this entire series, and the fact that they knew when to pick, you know, having the heal and barrier in the bottom lane, the barrier used very early on by Sneaky, so he didn't get this gigantic deficit, was able to just heal back up and not take a large chunk to his HP, was actually pretty heads-up play, even though the trades were something that I don't 100% agree with at the beginning of the game.
Well, with all this praise for Smoothie, I think it's no surprise that he will be our player of the series. Of course, coming in clutch, there were a lot of fantastic performances across the board for Cloud9, but Smoothie just felt like he was so consistently making his mark in this series.
He's a guy who has a lot of ups and downs. He started his career on TDK, had a long period of time where he was trying to figure out where exactly he was going to land in the league, spent some time on Liquid before finally getting his foot in the door at C9, and since then has just taken off to another level, and here finally picking up the first player of the series at Worlds for North America in 6 years.
Damn, that's my boy, though, because, like you said, the guy was auto-relegated on a team. Then he came back, Liquid benched him. Then he started having to fight for his spot against Bunny Fufu on Cloud9, earned it. People kind of had that criticism of, I feel like maybe Bunny was a little better, but you're seeing now, Smoothie, it pays off in spades. He's a large part of their shot calling, he's a large part of the playmaking, and he even has a large part of the disengage and how they reassess fights. We think of the redemption to reset after Jensen got caught. He covers a lot of his team's mistakes, and it allows them to keep pushing forward with their plan.
Overall, has to be a performance he can be proud of, but we're going to send it over to Fish, who's standing by for an interview with the newest bot laner to promote to the group stage.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Sneaky, the AD carry from Cloud9 after their victory today. Congratulations that you'll be moving into the main stage, or the main group stage of World Championship. But before this match, you kind of had a sneaky comment about LYN, saying you're wishing them a fight home before the match even started. Besides Game 2, it was relatively, one-sided towards you guys. What did you think of LYN after that series?
They were okay. I mean, initially I wasn't really sure what to expect, because coming into Worlds, we had to play against a bunch of wild cards, and they really are wild cards because they can just take a bunch of games off people. Like Albus Nox last year did really well. They went into quarters when it was completely unexpected. So yeah, we weren't underestimating them at all, and yeah, I hope the flight home is safe.
I'm glad that I'm pretty sure they'll be glad to hear that as well. Going into the next stage of Worlds, so there's 2 groups you could be seeded into. It's either SKT, EDG, and AHQ, or G2, Royal, as well as Samsung. Which group do you want to go into, and which group do you not want to go into, and why?
I think I prefer EDG, SKT, AHQ. Honestly, I think EDG is probably able to be taken down. I'd say more so than Samsung, G2, and RNG, because RNG has always come out strong during Worlds, and EDG has usually faltered. So I hope we can take the crown from them.
Well, let's see if you can do that as you move into the next stage of Worlds. And finally, since Cloud9 has been on the LCS, you've been to every single World Championship with them 5 times now, I believe. What's different this time, and what is it going to take for Cloud9 to go all the way?
Well, we do have a lot of different teammates now. Well, obviously we have contracts that's different for this year specifically. The rest of the members are the same. But yeah, it's been a long road. It's been pretty rocky. We had not the greatest split, and we ended up pretty decently at the end, and then we lost in playoffs. So now we're here in Gauntlet, hoping, or from the Gauntlet, hoping to prove ourselves once again. I mean, it's just a different team atmosphere. Before, I think Mios was a lot of the voice in the team, and I think I've kind of taken over that role, and it's a little bit different dynamic. So yeah, I hope we can prove ourselves.
Well, hopefully you can do just that. Best of luck in the next stage of Worlds. We're going to go into a break. We'll be back with Hong Kong Attitude taking on Fnatic.
Welcome back to the World's 2017 Elimination Stage. We're still Mark and Dracos, but we've swapped out our NA bias to accommodate some EU analysis with Andrew Vediastay.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, man.
Full.
Mark, yes, very quickly ate. All right, well, the stage is set for our next series of the day, Fnatic versus Hong Kong Attitude. Now, these 2 teams are coming into it after a pretty rough play-in group stage, both very close to the top, but still didn't feel like the cleanest sets.
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys probably had the hardest time getting into exactly where they wanted to be. HKA narrowly missed that #1 seed after taking 1907 Fenerbahce to a tiebreaker, unable to actually convert on it after that. So you got to feel like they are hungry for some revenge.
Yeah, and looking back at that game, it was so close too. Both those teams fighting tooth and nail to try and secure that first place spot. But unfortunately for HKA, they just couldn't find the teamwork, couldn't find those mid-game fights that would allow them to win the game. But you can see that in terms of their early game, it's definitely an area that Fnatic might need to be scared of.
Definitely, because when we look at how Fnatic were able to come out on top, a lot of strong team fighting, a lot of strong ability in some of those games, but definitely not consistency across the board.
It's basically like everyone struggled at one point during their games. They did smash very hard in the bot lane 3 games before they finally had their one struggle, and even then they went late a couple times. So there's still a little bit of cleaning up to do, but it's hard to see them not performing here just because they have so many strong players.
Yeah, and I think it's really fascinating to look at how these teams go because you have one team that built a lot of their advantages in terms of the early laning phase, whereas Fnatic, one of their big strengths was their ability to team fight, their coordination. Some of their comebacks were really impressive in finding those opportune fights and those opportune moments to swing things in their
And you
favor.
talk about the laning phase, mid lane does feel like it could be a mismatch given the success that Godquai and Mission were able to have and how shaky Brox and Capsa look. They did have some good performances, but also were kind of a weakness at certain points.
Oh, yeah, they were doing a good job punishing mid laners when they had their summoners down. They were able to get onto Frozen a couple times, who was supposed to be one of the big playmakers for 1907 Fenerbahce, and he was a little bit later in the game, but it did feel like Mission was giving him a little bit of trouble, and we were seeing Caps struggle against Null and some other people in the play-in stage.
Yeah, but the big thing that I'm going to be looking at in terms of HK's ability moving from the laning phase is what they can do with their gold leads, because we've seen a trend now with this team where they get this early lead either through the mid lane or through their AD carry, but then they never really push this gold lead that much further. It stagnates, and that is a reason why 1907 Fenerbahce were able to find that big win earlier on, and it could be an avenue with which Fnatic can take advantage of.
Definitely true. And now I also want to look at a little bit of the bot lane. Despite Reckless's most recent performance not being the greatest, I think he is still a massive threat on the team, and I think we have to look at how Unified is actually going to stack up in terms of individual playmaking.
Absolutely. We're going to have a good test here of Reckless to see how he's going to match up to the rest of the world, because Unified has looked great. He's probably been, even more so than Mission, one of the focal points of the early game for HKA. He has made a lot of leads, but he has very tough competition because Jez and Reckless have been great as well.
They certainly have been. This 2v2 powerhouse bottom lane has been exciting to watch, and as a European fan, those will be one of the players that I'll be keeping my eye on throughout this series.
Lots of things to look out for. Well, let's send it to Pyre and Frost to get us into the first game of the series.
Thank you very much, Dracos, and welcome to our next series of the day. I'm Devin Pyrotechnics Young, and joining me in my Song of Ice and Fire is none other than Indiana Frusker in Black. How are you?
But it's Frost, it's not Frost.
You know, I've been trying to spell that out for years. I still can't do it. Let's
I
turn our
can't spell
attention
it.
towards the players taken to the stage today. On the blue side for game number one, it's Fnatic, which means up in the top lane, we've got Soaz. Prowling the jungle will be Broxa. Caps in the mid. AD carry Reckless. Support Jez's and their coach, Dylan Falco.
And scoring up against them on the red side, it's Hong Kong attitude from the LMS. In the top lane, it's Rearus. Jungle is going to be Godquai. Mid is Mission, Bot, Unified, and support Kaiwing with Coach Tabe.
And there's definitely been a lot of rumblings about this team. Very, very hyped up by a lot of the analysts. And of course, they have had their own troubles, but they're still looking exceptionally strong when they can build those leads early on in their games.
Yeah, they are a strong laning phase team, and let's kind of set the record straight. Yes, both Fnatic and HK had some struggles to get into this match, and yes, we now have two Pool 1 seeds facing off against each other for one more spot left in group stage, but ultimately, these are both the third place seeds from the region. This is the third place seed from EU, the third place seed from the LMS, and finally, we get to answer that question. Is the LMS just a top 2 team region, or can Hong Kong Attitude actually put up a good fight and actually go the distance? Because I still feel that Fnatic are slightly favored in this.
Oh, they have to be. And even the fact that there's been a lot of question marks about Fnatic, the expectations always been a little bit higher from a region like EU. However, the LMS has produced some powerhouses, even if they're the names most people are always recognizing, the likes of Flash Wolves, of AHQ. I heard a lot of analysts talking about how this team might be better than AHQ this year.
And I frankly do have to agree. Yes, it was AHQ that took the second seed, but if you look at the march through to even get Hong Kong Attitude here, they look very impressive. And it's individually, lane by lane, pound by pound per talent, matching up from AHQ. I weight a lot of the players. You know, Unified is such a great ADC, even though On has that veteranship status behind him. Rearus is performing better in the top lane than Ziv has had this entire split. So HKA are a team to be feared.